Greetings, my name is Brandon Frame. I'm the Director of Social Emotional Learning at the Urban Assembly. If you've been following my journey, I'm on this mission to go around the country and see high quality social emotional learning in action. We've traveled to various communities, and I'm excited that my travels and my journeys have brought me to the Big Apple. What I'm hearing through the grapevine is that they have an SEL state of mind. So we're gonna start our journey here in the Bronx. We're at William Taft High School. We're gonna see how they're implementing social emotional learning here in each individual school, but overall making a powerful campus right in here in the middle of the Bronx, New York. So let's get in here, talk with some teachers, students, administration, to see how it's going at each school and the campus overall. Let's go.
Social emotional learning at DreamYard is just how we do school.
DreamYard helps me develop social emotional learning skills, mainly because of all the programs that I'm in and the community that I'm in, such as PGC. It gives me a chance to connect with students, and even though I'm mentoring them, they're also helping me grow as a person.
It looks in a whole myriad of ways. When you walk into our space, it's a very welcoming space. There's images of young people up on the room. There's positive messaging. In terms of how it looks in a structure within the school day, all of our students have something called Life Ready class, which is advisory. It happens twice a week, and that is a period of time that's explicitly dedicated to exploring and developing the SEL competencies.
This is just one of the ways that we engage in SEL at DYP, but you'll hear about a lot of other ways we do that as well.
Why do you champion SEL?
Everything's better. Their performance in school is better, they're happier, they're growing into more successful adolescents and adults right in front of us.
I champion SEL because we believe that there's a richness in all of our students.
And it wasn't just like a transactional thing, like I'm in school to learn and just like leave, right? It goes beyond that.
Social emotional learning to me is getting a chance to connect with my peers and also mentor people. It's important because I feel like it creates a community where people can feel like they can go to anybody to talk to, any problems that they're having, they can have somebody to look up to, and like emotional support.
Social emotional learning is taking the entire young person and their full selves into account when we plan instructional experiences and supporting them to be able to bring who they are into the classroom.
It's being able to come to school knowing you're not just coming for education, but knowing there's teachers there for you.
I think that sometimes people think about social emotional learning is what you do when a young person is in crisis, and that's part of it. But true social emotional learning is embedded throughout the school day and giving young people opportunities to explore, to be who they are, to meet their needs within the context of school.
What does SEL look like in your role?
Looks like a lot of my role as basically a lot of solution-focused therapy, checking in with students, building awareness, teaching self-management skills, along with taking responsibility for their actions.
It's important to me as a leader because that's what I believe good learning and good teaching is. It takes it into account. You cannot separate social emotional learning from academic instruction.
What relationship building practices did you practice or adopt to foster an inclusive community?
Amazing work with PGC leaders in our Life Ready classes. And they come in, they act as mentors and guides to our 9th grade students, from getting to know each other, to building, to putting things out there that you might not be comfortable with and kind of showing who you really are.
A lot of the stuff that you learn isn't going to resonate with you unless you have some type of relationship with the people teaching you. I feel like now that we have social emotional learning in schools, this school specifically, I learn better, I pick up things better, and I enjoy things. I enjoy my classes.
So as I said, social emotional learning is how we do school. So I kind of don't know what DreamYard would be without social emotional learning. But when I think about our school culture, from the minute you walk into our school, people always say, this feels like a welcoming place. Your young people feel very supported. Students are happy. Allowing, when I think about the staff, people feel connected to one another in ways that if we didn't prioritize social emotional learning, I don't think would exist. It also supports us in being able to navigate difficult conversations, difficult events. As you know, this has been a very fraught 3 years in terms of the pandemic, in terms of the racial reckoning that's happening in our country. And the fact that we've embedded and used social emotional learning has supported our school to be able to thrive under really challenging circumstances.
One person in this school that I want to thank is Mr. Cruz.
Our assistant principal.
When I was at my lowest, when I was struggling in school, and he's given me many opportunities.
He's given me a lot of opportunities to better myself.
Gabby, she's someone who I've really watched this year develop her leadership capacity and strength.
The social emotional skill that I'm working on is social management.
I would say probably like leadership.
I feel like getting a relationship with a lot of teachers is really important. Just so I know how to talk to adults, so that in the future I can have these skills to use for any type of job or in college.
I feel like I'm able to take charge and actually guide situations or mediate situations. I feel like I'm also able to have a lot of compassion and empathy. I can understand people's emotions and how they're feeling very well.
The DESA, when I looked at my DESA data, we're a small school. There were about 48 students who were showing as in need of additional support. My support services team, they meet once a week. In their meeting, they were able to look at those students and say, okay, let's look at each individual student. So they became students who we check in with frequently. We do additional support for them. And then the students that were on the high end, right, that showed strength in social emotional learning, those were the students that we kind of looked at to tap into leaders. They became our PGC leaders, our peer mentors.
In school, I do PGC, which is peer group connection, and that's when we go to the younger grades and give them any type of advice.
Mainly by being able to get my point across. Specifically, let's say if it's any conflict or anything, it's rather than it being a big blow up, it can help me mediate a situation.
The support from Urban Assembly has been great. I've really valued the support from Urban Assembly. It's been wonderful. I have a new culture coordinator this year. So our culture coordinator is our dean. We don't use the language of dean. I know it has been extremely beneficial to her because she's had a thought partner alongside my assistant principal and support services team to be able to look at data, to be able to bounce ideas off, and to really be able to support us in deepening and further developing our social emotional program.
The reason why high school students need to learn social emotional learning skills is so that if they are given an opportunity, they can take it.
When you're in high school, you're still trying to figure out who you are as a person, and you're trying to build your personality, and you're trying to build skills.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.